God can use.
Say something God can use.
Speak the words of life.
Say something God can use. The word of miracle for you. When we speak, we have power. When we speak, we have the power of life and death. What we say really matters. What we say, the word of miracle for you. Say something God can use.
Speak the power, y'all.
Say something God can use.
Say something God can use.
Say something God can use.
Speak the words of life.
Say something God can use. The word of miracle for you. When we speak, we have power. When we speak, we have the power of life and death. What we say really matters. What we say.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another conversation with Kelly. I am your host, Kelly Spencer, and I am glad that you eavesdropped in on this little conversation. And I say little, but it is powerful. It's, oh my God, get your pens, get your paper. Make sure you get ready to ask questions. My guest today, we have just the green room. If you could just hear the conversations before we even go live, it's all the way live. But again, thank you for joining us, and do me a favor, since you are eavesdropping, like, share, comment, and again, don't forget, put those questions in and we'll be able to answer them live for you. Also subscribe. We have some powerful things coming up and you don't want to miss them. So if you subscribe, you'll get the notifications and you will be blessed. Today's topic is Kingdom Entrepreneurship, biblical principles for business success. This is for existing business leaders, owners, or even future business leaders and owners. And my guest, again, is such a powerhouse, full of information, and she thinks it not robbery to share all of the nuggets and wisdom that God has given her over the years and imparted into others. So stay tuned. As I always do, I want to start out with the scripture. Today's scripture is going to be Deuteronomy 8:18. It says, "But remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth." So yes, God gives you the ability to produce wealth. I remember growing up as a kid, I had a Kool-Aid stand. So I'm given my age, just so that I could, have a few little dollars to buy whatever I wanted to. I didn't want to depend on my allowance or anyone else. So I have had that entrepreneurial mindset from a kid, but I didn't have a mentor, steward. I just know that I wanted my own. But I want to encourage you, think those small beginnings not as strange. If you have that entrepreneurial desire, one day, write everything down that God gives you, because at the appointed time, when it is time, when all things are in alignment, then you will go forth and launch that business, launch that ministry, launch that church, write that book, whatever it may be. I also want to show you there is a difference between being a businessman versus an entrepreneur. This came from Enoch and P. Airy. He describes the difference between the businessman and entrepreneur as this: businessman is someone who is involved in commercial activities and is focused on managing established businesses and optimizing them for success. Entrepreneur, on the other hand, spots opportunities, creates ventures, or improves existing ones. They prioritize innovation and risk taking. Uh, John H. Johnson, who I'm sure many of you are familiar, he was definitely an entrepreneur. He was the one that founded Ebony, Jet, Fashion Fair Cosmetics, Fashion Fair Fashion Show. And I won't go into all the details, but it came from seeing an opportunity that he could serve his people. And now some, yay, 50 years, I believe, they're going strong. They had to do a little restructuring a few years ago, but they are coming back strong. Ebony is now online, still having great impact in the Black community. Now, my guest, I cannot wait for you to meet her. She is Dr. Apostle Lavella Mogeri. She empowers leaders to succeed. She is an anointed prophetic teacher. She is a distinguished author of many books that we'll get a chance to talk about, magazines. She has hosted international conferences, y'all. And when I say international, sometimes people use that word kind of, interchangeably, as in, maybe one or two cities. She literally has had conferences in Antigua. So many, I can't even name the places, but definitely God has his hand on her. And anytime I get to sit with her, which is not that often, or to speak to her, I am empowered. I am blessed. So I want you to be blessed as well. And I guess 2 years ago, I happened to be a part of one of her business conferences. So let me just show you the impact that she had on me. Hey, everybody, this is Kelly Spencer, and I just left the Leaders Who Lead Differently Small Business Summit. One word: fire. Apostle Lavella Mogeri, you did that. Yes, you did. Brought women from all over the United States who have businesses not only just in the States, but overseas as well. And oh my God, you just don't know how inspired, encouraged, empowered I was. And I want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. And I am looking forward to the next time. So thank you again for allowing God to use you in such a small, mighty, but powerful way. Thank you, and looking forward to seeing you on the next one. So welcome my guest, Apostle Dr. Lavella Mogeri. Welcome back to another conversation.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm serious. Every time we get together, I'm blessed. I just want you to know, I have my notes from just the conversation that we had in the green room. I don't know if you can see it. Just the wisdom that God downloads to you it's awesome. And I thank you for sharing it.
Oh, you're welcome. I tell you, it's just, well, I'm going to say it's God. It is God. But are we in a position? God is always speaking. He's always pulling at our pulse. He's always giving us a sign. But are we listening? Are we paying attention? Are we sensitive to the Creator? And because a lot of times we are hearing, but are we literally listening? And sometimes we could hear for others, but we're not hearing for ourselves.
Yes.
And so we position ourselves to, again, fine tune, put our ear to the pulse of God to be able to speak, release the timing of God. But we are so disconnected when it comes to the timing of ourselves,
Yes.
because we're not in a place to be able to be still enough to
Mhm.
quiet the noise within to be able to hear for ourselves.
Absolutely. Well, tell us. I mean, I gave you just a little introduction for such a powerful woman of God. Tell the viewers a little bit about you. How did you get started in terms of like your Christian journey, all the way through your business journey?
Thank you for that. I'm a PK kid, and so what does that mean? I've run from the call. I said I'm not doing it, only to find myself doing it.
Doing it. Hmm.
Uh-huh. And that only came because my back was up against the wall. And even in that, guess what? We could still be doing what we was not raised up to do, but it still have a prayer life and still be calling upon the Father. And it's only until I was squeezed or my back was up against the wall. And that's what I told God, okay, I yield, which means I was trying other things. It didn't work, only for me to be returned, okay, returned back to the heart of the Father. And so, and in doing so, again, and God has been dealing with me. He gave me this word. It's called a faith bulletproof vest, where our faith is being tested,
Yeah.
because we tend to build what we've seen, build what we've heard, and build what was etched in our minds. And I'm talking about the blueprint of the systems. So I
Yes.
was building what I've seen or what I grew up in, and then only to find out after I had surgery and I had to just rest from not doing it, the work, being active, doing the work. That the creator, God told me, he said, I did not call you to build what your forefathers built. I call you to build a distribution center. He said, but my word does not return to me void. So you were only building what was etched in your mind by way of sight, what you saw embedded or
Yes.
the embedment of it, called religious
Yes.
culture. So you just happened to produce or reproduce what was embedded or seated in me. And so with that, he said, I called you to do a distribution center. I then shut down the ministry, New Beginnings Apostolic Church, and then went to Search Hub. And when I did that, everything, I mean, just, oh my gosh, it just, my eyes was open. And I
Mhm.
saw that what I was building, that we call warfare, what I was building and running into definitely was warfare, but I was building a system that I was running into walls with or for, because the Father did not call me to build that. And a lot of us as leaders, we are building what we've seen, what we've heard, thinking, well, that's the blueprint. And in reality, we're running into walls, or we're having or experiencing chaos, or we're experiencing
Right.
in a battle because we keep building a system that have nothing to do with us. And so in doing so, ministry, when I said it expanded, I was always wondering, I said, God, why are you always sending people that are more mature or advanced or that have been doing ministry? And I said, little old me, why do they keep flying in from Canada and overseas to little old me?
Mhm.
But I had to learn, because I couldn't see it then, that I was carrying something that is older or more seasoned. I was beyond my time. And this is for someone, for those leaders, that's beyond
Yes.
their time. And so you're, again, the experience and friction or inner battle, because what you're seeing and what you're hearing and what you're implementing is way beyond your time. But how do you express, articulate the timing of your advancement? And so
Mhm.
thus that began. When it comes to the entrepreneurship, I was always that way because I've seen it around me. My grandmother, my grandparents were always entrepreneurs. From the land, they will grow vegetation and go to the market and sell it. They had a store attached to their home where they'll sell sugar or flour or whatever. So I've
Mhm.
always seen it. I've always seen a model or a system, of it based on that. So with that, again, so I started, I do mentor, I do train, I do cultivate. I am the facilitator of multiple movements. I'm like, God, why am I doing this? And I'm saying this out loud because I'm like, God, you always doing this to me. They're gonna be asking, here she go again. Why is she doing this? What's she up to now? But I said, you're always doing this to me. And so God will allow me to navigate and change some things. And that's the mindset or the DNA of a forerunner or a pioneer.
Yes.
We are
Yes.
not, we're leading movements and we're facilitating movements, and we're when I'm pioneering movements. And so one day I'm like, God, here I go again. They're gonna be like, here the church first. What is she doing now? And God told me, He said, you're a facilitator of multiple movements. Makes sense. That's the lingo for reformer. Okay. And so it makes sense to me then. It didn't make sense to me then, but it makes sense to me when God said it.
Yeah. Yes,
He said
yes.
that because a lot of us are born leaders, always
Mhm.
trying to find ourselves behind the scenes or hide ourselves because you don't want the people to know, you don't want people to see you, but you stick out like a sore thumb. You could be in the back of the church, but they still call you to the front. You could do
Mhm.
everything to be and remain hidden, but God is going to draw that curtain and He's going to display you. This is for
Yes,
somebody. He's going to
yes.
display you. So, with that, again, God gave me leaders who lead differently. I said, Lord, here we go. And that's truly for leaders who DNA are different. They cultivate, they are the culture of leadership, and they lead. Again, their style is unique, their model is unique. It's advanced time, but how can they articulate it and how can they express it? And they need to be in a circle or a tribe with those that are wired like them. And so that's the birthing of leaders who lead differently from, of course, many other subject or object, when I say space,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
like Surge Hub and others. Yes. And so that's one of them. Right now, we're doing the pathway to success. And what does that mean? That's mentoring, again, leaders that are entrepreneurs and that are building strong models there as they're navigating this industrial age. As AI is at the forefront, how do I build? How do I adjust? How do I
Yeah.
navigate? How do I be the beacon and still lead a Christ centered or spiritual foundation organization? How do I do that in this industrial age? Mhm.
Yes. Wow. Wow. And I first want to say, hello, Fitz, how are you? And Prophetess Tara hit my hometown girl. How you doing? If you guys have any questions for Apostle, don't forget, feel free to type them in and we will get to them as soon as we can. All right. So, Apostle, tell me who was your first? Um, oh, I think she's coming back. There we go.
Mhm.
Who was your first? Well, I think you said that your parents kind of modeled the entrepreneurial gifting and navigating that space. But who would be like one of your, um, I guess, the most famous entrepreneur that you kind of said, I like the way that they flow. I like the way that they organize that ministry or that conference or their church.
There's so many. Um,
Mhm.
there's so many, but based on entrepreneurial, yeah, my grandmother. But I would say she's a Walker, in the sense of production. She did not
Mhm.
stop. She did not. When I said Walker, oh gosh, I forgot her first name, but she made the products, the perms.
Madam
Oh,
C.J. Walker.
Madam C.J. Walker. Yes, yes, yes. Of
Mhm.
course, I have many. I have
Mhm.
many entrepreneurs, but I'm talking about she displayed tenacity, resilience from a woman standpoint. She didn't quit even though she wanted to, but
Yes,
she
yes,
stayed focused. And as sometimes as leaders, with all that's coming at us, and we're so distracted, she she honed into her tunnel vision. And
yeah,
sometimes we have to do that. And we see the expected end, and we're not going to stop. We're not going to quit until we achieve that milestone, achieve that goal. And so she did that. She did that. For the male perspective, I would say Tony Robbins, because
yes,
I've seen his journey through out the years. And at the same time, even today, he's still piling, he's still driving, and he's still impacting. And he's about building, nurturing, building minds, coaching, expanding. He's all about growth. And sometimes as leaders, we're so busy building others that we neglect our growth as well. So we could be in a deficit while the world is experiencing and growing from our tutelage, from our oil, from our wisdom and our knowledge, but we neglect and we have ourselves, we're malnourished or in a place of neglect or bankruptcy because we are literally pouring out that oil. And so,
Mhm,
what does that look
mhm.
like? So, for one, he would be from a male
A male
perspective.
perspective.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
So definitely having a mentor is crucial.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
And what does that look like having a mentor? Some would say, "Well, I have a mentor," and some would say, "Well, I have a mentor. I have a coach." Even with the word mentor, sometimes the religious sect have a problem with that because at that point, like you already have a spiritual parent. Why do you need a mentor? Um,
Mhm,
a
mhm.
mentor could give you, not taken away from the spiritual parenting, but the mentor could cultivate another part, sect, or dimension or cut of you
Yes,
that
yes,
spiritual
yes,
parent, while a spiritual parent is focusing on your spiritual side, your spiritual DNA, your mentor could focus on cultivating what's on tap in or bring to the forefront what's in dormancy. You've always
yes.
thought about being a business owner, and at the same time, your spiritual mentor will say, pray, fast, and meditate, and God's going to give you the answer, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that mentor is going to say, now you've been praying about this, you've been fasting about this. Let's put those prayers and let's now put some
Mhm,
action
mhm,
to it. Let's fuel this. So
mhm.
with the mentor, what the mentor will do is provide guidance. The mentor will give you wisdom. The mentor often save you from costly mistakes.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
The mentor will give you a perspective that you can't see. It would broaden and also change your lens. Change your
yes,
lens, your perspective of how you see things.
yes,
A
yes.
mentor will tell you, look at the end results. The next five, right now, this is your goal. What are you going to accomplish in the next 3, 6, 9 months? And let me
Mhm.
hold you accountable to taking those small steps into those big,
To get to
giant,
that.
giant
Mhm,
leaps. Okay.
mhm,
Now,
mhm.
your spiritual parents again will tell you, pray about it, and just God gonna see you through. When the breakthrough is right here, it's right around the corner. Just hold on. But that mentor gonna say, while you're holding on, you got to move,
Exactly.
move.
Yes,
While you're
yes,
praying, move. Let's go
yes,
on the journey. Let's
yes,
go, let's go.
yes,
So yeah, I'm not knocking both. Been there, done that. But at the same time, spirituality, when I say from the religious standpoint, is hold on until your change come. Hold on until God's saying, okay, you can still hold on, but still move. In Him,
yes.
we move and have our being. We're
Eating.
still
Yes,
moving in momentum, moving
yes,
in
yes,
fluidity, still with expectation, still with anticipation, waiting for God to answer and respond, confirm, while moving in Him and trusting in totality, wearing the bulletproof vest called faith. Okay, so that's what the mentor does. It holds you accountable to your accelerated pace and to your
yes,
accelerated
yes,
growth. Okay, that means you have to grow. The
yes.
mentor also helps you to bulletproof or test or beta test your foundation. Let's test your system. You're saying that you want to be an entrepreneur. What are you doing right now to be an entrepreneur? What steps?
Mhm,
What's your business plan? What steps are you taking? Are you going to school? Are you? There are so many free courses out there. Verizon have courses right now that I've locked into. That's connected to oh gosh, what's the big school, Howard and
mhm,
Cornell, all of them that
mhm,
are free. Now,
mhm.
Google was doing it, and Verizon said, I'll do one better, and did the same. I'm talking about powerful course that you will pay thousands of dollars for free. So your mentor will tell you, hey, tap into these free courses and get a certificate.
Yes,
Help you gain the knowledge so you could be not only equipped but
yes,
knowledgeable, and then have the necessary tools to be able to execute the plans that you have in
yes.
place. So yes, we do need that mentor, that push. The mentor could very well be a midwife at times, and letting you know, hey, we're not going to stop. I,
Right,
I have
right,
I
right.
have a coaching program in place, and it's called You versus Yourself. We're running, and we're on the track field, and it's at that time you're fighting against the wind. You're fighting against every negative thought. You're fighting against every negative chatter. You're fighting against words that you have even spoken over yourself or even have beliefs. So it's you versus yourself. When you're running around that field,
No.
you don't have the time to look to the left. You don't have time to look to the right because it's just you looking at the finish line. And so when you're building what God has given you or entrusted to you, it's you versus yourself. You're the only downfall. It's not what Mary said and not what Auntie and Pookie and them said that you're gonna never be amount to nothing. You were not gonna do it. You need to have $5,000 in your bank account. People are starting business. I even did it with $0, just your creativity. You could write a book, ebook, whatever, $0, but just a couple of hours of your time to sell it. That's what that mentor is going to do. Did you write that book today? Matter of fact, did you do a chapter? Okay, you have writer's block. What about 30 minutes? Tell me about your book. You know, if you're having a problem writing, you know you could just do audio and then go back and type it. That's what that mentor is going to do. Get on your last nerve to push you. You said you want to do this. Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yes.
So we all need one. We all need one. And this is important, per level, per dimension, or per your growth or your evolution, per your personal metamorphosis stage, your mentorship could change.
Yes.
One could mentor you when it comes to literally activating or birthing that business, while you have a mentor that has the experience in finances. You have a mentor that's experienced in international business. So you will now grow. And as you grow into your
areas,
in different areas, as you're tapping into different expands or phase of your vision, then the voice, the echoes that resonates to what you're carrying or what you're impregnated with will now cause your baby to leap. And now it's causing you to birth forth and bring it into fruition or manifestation because you had that voice, that midwife, someone to literally push you along.
And I just will have a plea of guilty right here. Every time you and I talk, I promise you, you will say something that makes me go, "Ooh, she is right. Okay, I can do it." You know, like a little engine. I think I can. And then by the time I'm talking to you or something that you say, it's like, I know I can. I know I can. So you are absolutely right that the mentor does push you sometimes in ways that you would never expect.
That's true.
And it doesn't have to be a daily conversation, a monthly conversation. It could be just a divine connection or divine timing that God will have that person connect with you and say, okay, what are you doing? Okay, let's go back and we're, just like you said, okay, did you write? Did you do the chapter? Did you, let me help you. Let me, because I see the gifting in you and I want to help you push it out. It's just like I work for a nonprofit who we help unwed mothers. And at some point, when they go in labor, the doctor has to say, okay, it's time to push. You can't hold it in anymore. So you got to push. Either we're going to do it the easy way or some kind of way, but that baby has to come out. So the mentor is going to say, God gave you that gift. God gave you that idea, that invention, whatever it is, it's time to go forward.
And the flip side to that mentorship, one could also get upset with their mentor because they're wanting to keep them on track. It's like, I hear what you're saying, but what I'm hearing, this is from the mentor hat. What I'm hearing is that there's a lot of emotionalism. If you want to vent, you could go ahead and vent, but when you're done, we're going to go right back to the vision. And that's not what they're wanting to hear, because at that point, I'm trying to get you to hear why I have not done what I'm supposed to do because I'm dealing with this. I get it.
Yes.
I understand. I'm extending grace, but I'm going to allow you to vent. And when you're done, let's go back and revisit, as otherwise you're going to hold that excuse over Okay, so you have to now override, and you're letting that excuse now stop you, derail you, and now, and then what's going to happen? You're going to put that vision on the shelf, and you say, "I'll get it," or then here comes procrastination, and before you know it, it's been 3 months, 6 months, or whatever. So when it comes to mentorship, sometimes they have to know what they signed up for, because a lot of them are not ready for true mentorship. Again, because I'm not one of those mentorship. I hear you. I'm raw. Okay, so what are we going to do? I've been there. I've made many mistakes to where I have pulled on the potential, and that person was not ready to produce. They was
Yes.
not ready to
Yes.
birth. They was
Yes.
not ready to implement. They
Mhm.
was holding on to their baby, and they was holding on to their excuse because they've experienced church hurt. They've been dealing with trauma. They've been dealing with so much that by the time they got to me, like, yes, you are that mentor, that leader I've been wanting. But then when we start working on it, and like, I am not ready, they're not ready to let go of what gave them their narrative, because
Yes.
their narrative is anger, resentment, or is pastor
Yes.
so and so. At that point, they've been going through revolving doors, and so they're
Yes.
blaming every leader, and they're blaming their parents, they're
Yes.
blaming everybody, and so that became their narrative, and that's why they held on to that anger. At that
Yes.
point, when you get to me, there have got to be an exchange. Let go of that pain, let go of that anger, let go of that resentment, let go of it, and now let's tap into what's in dormancy. Let's tap
Mhm.
into that book. Let's tap into that business. Let's tap into, and that's a scary experience, because what you're telling me is that I have to let go. There's going to be a void. There's no void. I'm giving you or helping you to see the reality of who you are,
Yes.
and that's dealing with now your identity of who you are. So the
Mhm.
true form or illuminated identity of you will blow your mind. It's like, whoa, God, why me? Why did you entrust me with that? That's huge. That's big. And so we don't carry it out because it's big. It's scary. I get it. I understand. So they have
Yes.
to know the different parts to mentorship. There's sternness, there's
Mhm.
accountability, and there are those that I'm like, and look, if you're not if you're not performing within 2 to 3 months, they will cut you off, because
Yes.
per your agreement, you
Yes.
said I
Yes.
will
Yes.
hold up to my end of the bargain, but you are not holding up to yours. So
Yes.
how can we walk this journey if you are not following up through? So again, it has to do with expectation. It has to
Yes.
do with
Yes.
expectation, and also again, being open to mentorship and being open to tutelage, be open to instructions. A lot of them are not ready for instructions. Again, the sternness, they're not ready for that. They want to be babied. I've had one that came to me, and in us sitting down, she said, I've been wanting to talk to you. And she said, in 15 minutes, you read my whole life story. And I said, in 15 minutes, you get to see what was holding you up. Now, where do we go from here? I haven't seen her again, because at that point she was having that aha wow moment. She was like, "Oh my God!" The
Wow.
reality of what she's been holding on to, thinking it was valid, and she's realizing that we're
Mhm.
all broken pieces.
Yes.
So
Yes.
can
Yes.
you handle the reality of that mentor that's dealing with what's in dormancy? They're seeing past your agony, seeing past your pain, and they're seeing the essence of your being. They're
Mhm.
seeing what you're impregnated with. Can you handle that?
Mhm.
So they have to make sure that they're really ready for a mentor. They have to make sure they're ready for a mentor.
And you are right on it, because some people have this, the idea or the gifting, but they want the credit, but they don't want the work.
Mm,
And in other words, they don't want to work towards, practicing. I can't think of the name of what is her name. She's the popular singer. Everybody loves Beyonce.
mm-hmm,
And her and her friends were younger, Kelly and the other group members.
mm-hmm,
They had to practice
mm,
every single day for
mm-hmm.
hours.
Yes.
They ran
Mm,
around some park. I remember they said in heels
mm,
to build up their stamina. I
yes.
mean, I mean, they were dedicated, and I'm sure
Preparing
probably
them for the
uh,
long haul.
I don't want to do this. It's hot in
Mm-hmm.
Houston. But the mentor was her father, and he
Mm-hmm.
kept, you're going to do this. If you're serious, this is what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And now look, she is multi-Grammy
Mm-hmm.
award winner. Now, of course, that's secular, but
Mm-hmm.
apply it to biblical as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you're faithful over a few, God will make you
That's
ruler
true.
over many.
That's
And so
true.
those few things that he gives us, no matter how big it may seem to us, it's
Mm-hmm.
not big to him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there's something inside each and every one of us. It's just like our handprint.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can be identified as me but me.
That's true. That's true.
So there are people that I could reach that they will look at Apostle and say, "Oh, she's such a super educated woman. I don't understand."
Mm-hmm.
But with me, they may say, "Oh, okay, I can relate to her,"
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa. They may say, "Now, Kelly, she's kind of silly. She's, I don't get it. She's too simplistic. I need some more sustenance, or I need less."
Mm-hmm.
So the point I'm trying to make, the mentor is going to see what's in you,
Mm-hmm.
push you
Mm-hmm.
to achieve, like you said, those goals
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
you said, this is what I need help with.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that help is not pretty.
That's
Help
true.
be painful. It's going to cost
Mm-hmm.
some nights of sleep, giving up some time with friends and family, but it's all to be obedient to God.
Yes. We're
Is that
holding you. We're holding you accountable to your expression.
exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly? Because and I guess I'm just drawing a blank today for some reason. I can't think of who said the graveyard is the richest place
Miles Monroe.
ever. Miles Monroe.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because
Mm-hmm.
there are books, there are ideas, there are modern medicine, there are businesses, all of those things that died.
Mm-hmm.
That person.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for even pointing that out. And then we're going to tap into the question that Fitz had on screen.
Yes,
We're
yes.
talking to a friend of mine today, and she was like, "Okay, when you get back, we'll put a meeting in motion, or whatever." And I said, "Why wait?" And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Right now, you're always on the go. Today you're off. Tomorrow you'll be gone on the road again.
Yes,
Why wait?"
yes.
And she said, "Yeah." I said, "What happened is, what you're doing is the right thing. You're saying that we'll have a formal meeting, but in
Mhm.
the age or timing that we are in, time is not waiting for me to get back. What
Yes.
hinders you from us having this meeting virtually?"
Right now.
And when we did it, she said, you said nothing but a word. We did that, and it was the most successful meeting. We got connected and put in moving parts in place. And she was
Mhm.
like, wow. And I said, again, what you said was right, having a formal introduction. But because due to the timing of the advanced timing or age that we are in, you have
Yes,
to practice overriding your system and now moving instantly. Let's go virtually. Let's go. Let's do it. And she
yes,
was like,
yes,
wow. What it
yes,
did was pointed out to her that sometimes we still do have some systems that's a wait or a delay or,
yes,
and just putting things in
yes,
motion by the control of us.
yes.
I had my mom was ill last time I came in, and at that point, my lesson for that was, you're still in a place where you're maneuvering. You have to be the one maneuvering the systems to make the money. And God said, you have got to put your systems in automation that even if you're not behind the wheel, you'll still make money. Okay, God.
Yes,
A couple of
yes.
days ago, then I saw one of my friends on Facebook. She was ill, and she said, "I'm ill today, guys. Pray for me." But she said, "Thankfully, I have systems in place that, due to automation, I could still get paid." What is God saying? That we have to tweak our systems that will benefit
Mhm,
us.
mhm.
But we have to override it. We have to
Yes,
reset.
yes,
Benefit from
yes,
it. Hmm.
yes.
Hmm.
And we do have a question from Fitz. He says,
Hmm.
Dr. McGarry, how does one truly release or per se let go of that procrastination sabotage? And before you
Hmm.
answer that, I do want to just input this.
Hmm.
Most visionaries don't struggle with ideas or plans, they struggle with execution.
Mm. And that ties into what the question is on the screen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Um, and so I'll tackle what Fitz is saying. Due to the procrastination, let's go a little bit further to the root of the procrastination. There is a narrative, there is a conversation there, an inner conversation. And the inner conversation is literally, when I say I'm going to use the word exposing more, it is revealing lack of confidence. It is revealing the inability to move forward. But it's also, let's go a little bit deeper. The other conversation that's having with your inner beings that you're not thinking, because I'm saying, did that, been there, done that, is that procrastination is tied to depression, and you're not going
Wait, 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 wait. Say that
to.
again. Procrastinate.
Procrastination is tied to depression, and once you are depressed, your appetite changes, your lens, your sight changes,
Yes, yes,
your
yes,
viewpoint
yes,
changes. You
yes,
are
yes.
moving, but you are dragging your, yeah, so you're dragging your feet because you are procrastinating. So so in order for you to deal with that procrastination, that's bringing, and the end result is self sabotage. You got to go back to the emotional or what's eating away at you, and it's tied to trauma, and
Mm-hmm.
it's when a deep rooted issue by way of a conversation that either one, you'll never be amount to nothing, you're not going to do it, or based on self-talk that you're talking yourself out of doing something. And it's also tied into scarcity, because you don't want to risk investment, because I don't want to lose the money. Money
Yes,
is hard to
yes,
come by,
yes,
and I
yes,
don't I have to work so hard for this money, and so therefore you're taking the time to invest, but you're dragging your feet because you don't know, you don't want to fail. But in reality, you don't have a problem failing, because if you had a problem failing, you would have dismissed the idea. You didn't dismiss the idea. But what is showing up in procrastination and self sabotage is an emotional tie to yourself, that dealing with the chatter, the negative thought. You're not going to amount to nothing. You're not going to be anything. Dealing with your confidence level has been taken or snipped away, and or scarcity. The value of money. What does it mean? And somewhere in our childhood touch, because we've all experienced that.
yes, yes,
There's some
yes,
areas
yes.
that we're so comfortable in. We won't mind spending that money here, but when it comes to the other projects, then here it is now. Why am I? And it could very well be the scarcity is that because the dream is so big and it's something that you always want to do and it's tied to your generational wealth. It's
Yeah.
scary, so you won't move on it. And so that's where scarcity comes in. And so it stays at the forefront of your mind to the point where it brings about depression. And I'm hearing this. It could very well be there's something that you wanted to do years ago and you didn't do it then. And so now you're grieving your old version of yourself when you were vigorous, when you were a risk taker, when you had the money, when you could have done such and such. And now you're looking at the version of myself and like, I should have did this 5, 10 years ago. So you are literally grieving the old version of
Wow.
yourself. You're mourning and not knowing that you're mourning. You're in depression and not knowing that you're in depression. And it shows up in procrastination. It shows up in self sabotage. It shows up in our eating habits, weight gain. Pain and agony, trauma is stored in our body. If you're dealing
Yes,
with kidney
yes.
issues, lung issues, whatever is because heart issues, is because we're holding on to pain, some form of pain in our body. Thus the weight gain, and thus the high pressure, blood pressure,
Mhm.
and thus
Yeah.
all of these things because there's pain trapped in our body. So I had to tell someone the other day, I said, I just recently learned how to breathe again. She said, what do you mean? As a single parent, I've been breathing as a leader, breathe, breathe, go, program at the program. Now you find
Mhm.
yourself in hustle mode, in thriving mode,
Mhm.
in all of
Mhm.
these mode, and now you have to stop and smell the roses, and you don't know how to breathe. So I had to learn how to breathe,
Mhm. Mhm.
learn how to inhale and exhale
And
without anxiety,
yes, yes.
without feeling overwhelmed. And don't feel guilty for taking that break because, oh, I got this to do, I've been there, done, I got that to do, got this to, that you, so you hide in the busyness of your hands and feel guilty
Yes,
because you've taken
yes.
some time, a break or a vacation. The body needs rest. The
Yes.
body is speaking, the mind is speaking, but the body is speaking, and they also need to be aligned, they need to be one. Mhm.
And you are on it. And we have a question. This is what I've been feeling
Mm,
after departing, retired from the military career.
mm,
Yes, yes.
mm-hmm.
I
So,
know after spending what, maybe 10 years in school,
mm-hmm,
I mean, my day literally started at 5:30 in the morning, driving to one class, going to work, leaving, flying down the freeway to get to a night class,
mm,
like even going to school on Sundays. I mean, I was determined I was going to get that degree.
mm-hmm,
And I was so focused on it, I didn't realize I wasn't breathing.
mm,
I didn't even stop to do anything. I
mm,
mean, I went from the January term through the summer term through the spring. I mean, I was determined, which was the right thing to, that mindset to have. But I did not breathe. I didn't say, okay, just take a break. You'll be okay. Uh, go to the movies. Go get something to eat.
mm-hmm,
Excuse me. So
mm-hmm,
how to breathe
mm,
is important,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
because once I did take a step back,
mm,
I was able to go, okay, this is making sense, because every algebra, math, and I are not friends.
mm-hmm,
Every- that no, I Dr. V, if she's listening, she can tell you.
mm-hmm,
I cried many a day through algebra and math and all that. That's just not me.
mm-hmm,
And once I got over that fear
mm,
of, of trying to, pass the class, because I
mm-hmm,
would, earlier on in my life, I would, get like 40s and
mm,
50s, fail, and then I would give up, and I say, oh well, this is not for me. Well, once she gave me a little bit of strategy,
mm,
of some formulas
yeah.
and patterns, because I'm very visual, I started seeing 60s and
Mm,
70s
mm-hmm,
and 80s. And then I got a B out of the
mm-hmm,
class.
wow.
And I'm so happy for the B.
Mm-hmm,
But the point I'm trying to make is the fear of failure can be
mm, yes.
as well. And it was stifling me many, many, many years ago, because I was afraid to take that step. Like, I was afraid to fail.
Mm,
If you have a vision that God has given you, know that you will not fail. If
mm,
God gave it to you, He's gonna give. If it's His vision, He's gonna give you the provision.
mm, mm,
He's a mentor. He's gonna give you the pattern.
yes.
So, take that time to breathe, inhale,
Mm,
exhale, then get back at it. Like Coach.
yes, yes.
Hey Coach, thanks for watching. They'll take a break every now and again,
Mhm.
just to hydrate and recalibrate, but then you get right back on it.
Mm. But
Yeah.
you said something so profound that because sometimes we could be so busy looking at the outcome and how it
Yes.
makes us feel, and at that
Yes.
point, what you pointed out is that you you were programmed to thinking like fail. I don't want to fail, fail, and but due to the formula, that's the interception of a strategy. And like you
Yes.
said, how you were visual, so then you had to
Yes.
move away from yourself and now look at it from a different angle,
Yes, ma'am.
visualize
Yes,
that
ma'am.
strategy, and now implement it from a different posture.
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes we need to do that,
Hmm.
step away, reposition ourselves, and view things from a different angle or different
Hmm.
posture, and now implement differently.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that changed the outcome. And you
Yes, ma'am.
kept going. Okay.
And I kept going and
Mm-hmm.
going. I got the next degree and kept on going and kept on going and kept, and all of it, I just think of that little engine that could.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to. I thought I could. I thought I could. No, I can't, because I can't get past statistics and math and all that. It's just never been my thing. Now, writing and speaking, oh, I got that. No, no problem. But that was just one or two classes.
But
You have to have,
you were open to help.
yes. And
And
because
then when you realize, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I had to literally say, Dr. V, help me. What I don't know, what am I missing? other than it seemed, and this is going to be a funny thing. Back in my time, we were taught how to count on our fingers, like 5 minus 4.
Mhm.
Okay, that's easy. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mhm. Same
Okay,
thing here. Mhm.
I mean 5 minus 1. That's
Mhm.
4.
Mhm.
But then the teacher said, "Okay, now I want you to close your eyes.
Mhm.
Can't use your fingers." And I'm closing my eyes, and I'm like, "But I can't." So
Mhm.
that visual part of me was afraid because I couldn't see it.
Mm.
I couldn't touch it. I couldn't
Mm. That's good.
materialize it, visualize.
That's good. Mhm.
Yeah. But I thank God for my mentor. She said, "Come on now, Apostle, that's it."
Mhm.
She was able to give me some tips, like I said, and some techniques. The very first thing, pray before you take the test. Number
Mm.
two, she gave me the formulas. And I would say, now, is this formula going to be the same for this kind of problem?
Mm.
Oh, got it. But I didn't know that.
Mm.
I was afraid to even try. I was afraid to even say I need help because I all I knew was my eyes were closed. I couldn't see the numbers. I couldn't
Mhm.
make sense of it. It was too abstract.
Mm.
How I can tackle anything.
Yeah, but some people are not open to trying or not open to receive
Yes, yes,
because they've allowed failure to override the thought of failure to
yes,
override,
yes.
and it'll make them feel or be in a place um, where either pride will say, "Step in, no, I don't want anybody to help me,"
Mhm,
or who can I ask, and they don't have a circle of people
mhm,
that they could ask as of for help as a resource. So it
mhm,
shows that the strength of your circle, the strength of your team, you was
mhm.
willing to make yourself vulnerable to be able to
Yes,
receive help. And that's
yes.
what leadership or entrepreneurship is, that you don't have to have all the answers, but
Mhm.
somebody on your team, in your network, in your tribe, somebody has the answers. So it's for us to reach
Yes.
out. What if you didn't reach out? I'm
Eh,
saying,
That's right. That's right. And Fitz says, unlike you, Pastor Kelly, I need help.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, yeah.
mm-hmm,
And he said earlier, I'm in need of a mentor. Well, you are talking to one of the best or seeing one of the best right now. And I'm sure you just reach out to her, inbox her, and I know she can give you some nuggets and point you in the right direction. Confident of that, like I know my name. Absolutely. But I mean, Apostle, I wish, but I guess it's divine timing. I was going to say, I wish I would have had a mentor like you who could see the spiritual side, but also the business side, because I would get all the downloads of I had a, a gift basking business. I had a t-shirt business. I had a greeting card business. I even at 16 created a Black History trivia game and a Black History coloring book for kids. And that I didn't have a mentor to look at the spiritual side and then also the business side. Okay, well, you need to do this, and this.
I,
So I personally thank you.
well, thank you for that. It's like embracing the gift, and sometimes I remember those days when I had to, like, God, I can't tell them that, they're gonna think I'm crazy.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
No, I'm not saying that. And it was nothing negative. Is that I was able to see beyond, and then especially when they don't, because right now they don't know you that as that person. I'm dealing with one right now. We've been friends like forever, so now we're dealing with each other in a sense of business endeavors or whatever. And so
Yeah.
she known me for that person that will cook and have, we call it block holes, and I'll cater. She knows that person, but now
Mhm.
she's tapping into the essence of me, and she said, I don't know this person. When did
Mhm.
you start doing such and such? And so I had to call her and then say, we from the Caribbean. I said, take my stupid advice. And I said, by the summer, you'll have so much of a flow or abundance. Set up structure now, because when that time comes, you won't have time to structure. And she
Mhm.
was like, get off my phone. I said, why? She said, I had that dream last night. And I said, and she said, so you're confirming what I saw. And I said,
Mhm.
set up now, structure, because you won't have time to
Mhm.
structure. This is the downtime while learning the business,
Mhm.
executed, putting the systems in place, doing, and then so she would like, well, I want to consult, but I'll wait. Now, so I put some systems in place, and I'm sending her and put her in some place to stretch her muscles. And I said, no, it's that consulting voice speaking now. Help her, help him. And she's like, oh my God. I said, no, you're waiting until the next 6 months to exercise your ability. You already have it.
Yes.
Exercise
Yes.
grace on yourself.
Yes. Yes.
Exercise grace on yourself. You already have the degrees, you already have the knowledge under your belt, but you're not in spaces to exercise your knowledge. And I said, hanging with me, you will. And at that point, do you not know she got it? She got that deal. It blew her mind. She's like, "Oh my gosh!" I said, "What we tend to do is that because we're um, getting the knowledge and putting things under our belt, the tutelage under our belt, we
Mhm.
tend to give ourselves time. Well, give me 3 months, give me 6 months
Right.
together. And,
Right.
and we call ourselves giving time. No, that's procrastination. That's procrastinating. And
Right.
so
Right.
if we could implement what we've learned and put it into action now, we'll, walking, taking small steps. And
Yes.
at the end of the day, we'll have bigger or greater milestones because of taking small steps. But I've been there. I'll wait. I'll wait till the right time. I'll wait till the money's in place. And God will override it every time and put me in a position to exercise what that dream, exercise what I saw, exercise the download, the revelation. And I'm
Yes.
like, oh. And then what I'm saying, is that when you're yielded to the creator, you're no longer your own. And he's
Yes.
needing your intelligence. He's needing your ability. He's needing your knowledge to help navigate his people
Mhm.
into the right places and spaces. So you're
Mhm.
not your own when
Mhm.
you're yielded. And so be that leader that leads. Be that leader that leads differently. Be that leader that navigates and help bring stream of wealth of knowledge and
Yes.
vision, and be the solutionist for that soul. Mhm.
And what you really said in a nutshell is a saying. When I heard it, it just resonated and stuck with me. Uh, Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah.
So what you were telling her is, okay, come on, you won't have time to,
Mhm.
get this, check off this list, and
Mhm.
do I have this, and this?
Mhm.
You just have to,
On the
take
journey, on the
faith.
journey, we're gonna get it. Let's go. Let's go.
And
Mhm.
even in the Bible, when the lepers were healed,
Mm.
I love my spiritual father. He preached one day. They were healed in the wenting.
Mm.
In other words, they were healed as they went
Mm. Mhm.
to go show themselves to the priest. Because back in that day, only the priest could declare a leper clean,
Mm.
and they were told to go to the priest.
Yes.
And what does that look like? You still full of the
Mm.
boils and the very obvious
Mm.
evidence that you still had leprosy, but
Mm.
they went, they were healed.
Mm.
So that means sometimes we just have to just jump in blind and let God, like I said, if He gives you
Mm.
the vision, He'll
Yeah.
give you the provision, whether that's
Mm. Thank you so much for
mentorship,
sharing that. Thank you so much for
connection.
sharing that. Mm.
Yes,
And,
yes,
and you know what came to mind is that some people are, because I've been there, done that. I don't want to be looking like a fool in the streets. So I could have social proof, and I could have that bank account that say, "Well, I did this, this, this," and like Dr. Lee favorite word, you need those receipts, baby. We're not
yes,
going to do nothing. I'm not going to be able to share, help, build, empower, strengthen somebody else until I got my whole self together.
yes,
So when
yes,
will you get your whole self together if you're not implementing, executing, and conquering in dominion and
yes,
working your
yes,
sphere of influence? So
yes,
there's something holding you up is your narrative that's holding
yes,
you up as well. So
yes,
when will you be that social proof? When will you be that bank account statement proof if you're waiting or in a mode of waiting? You're
mhm,
not waiting for the right time. I'm just going to bust that bubble right there because I have that narrative as well. You're not waiting for the money to whatever. You're the holdup. It's your
yes,
narrative.
yes,
Because if you
yes,
could trust God for everything else, Why you can't trust God to be the guide and navigate you in that dark place?
Yes. Yes.
Why can't you trust God to help you with your blueprint? You could trust God for everything else. Why don't you rely totally on God to walk out this place that may seem dark or uncertain or, oh, it's scary. Whew.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. But if it's his vision, it's going to be scary because it's his vision. It's you're impacting his people, and if you take that responsibility seriously, it should be
Mhm.
scary. Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
oh, a soul could be attached, or I won't say attached, but tied to my obedience.
Mm.
What if I
Mm.
didn't obey God? Then this person
Mm.
I come to get to know God in this way.
Mm.
You just never know.
That's so true. That's so true.
And Fitz, don't ever think you can't ask questions. I love your questions, so powerful. He says, Dr. McGarry, who would have been the pinnacle or catalyst at the forefront of your career path into the person that you are today?
Oh, God, thank you. He's no longer alive. I had many mentors, but I had those catalysts. I had those disruptors. One of them, both of them that were near and dear to me, they died the same month, a week apart from each other, which is
Oh,
Dr. Larry Hill, mhm,
okay.
and
Okay.
Barbara Levine. She was that spiritual mother. Like, I'm not going to let you go. What you doing? I remember one time I called her, Dr. Keller, because I thought I was sick, and I'm taking NyQuil, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on with you. I don't know. I've never felt this feeling before, and I'm like taking all this meds or whatever, and she's laughing, and I said, "Why are you laughing?" She said, "Loving, you're not sick." She said, "You're spiritually birthing." I go, "Huh?" But what I'm saying is, she was so spiritually in tune with
Mhm.
my growth process and my birthing pains. Not
Mhm.
everybody is in tune with your birthing pains. They
Yes.
don't know. So she was able to align me and navigate me and then be that midwife. Lovey, you're going through this. And what are you feeling? How are you experiencing it? So she was that midwife for me. For Dr. Hill, and I don't have to speak to them often, but when I do speak to him, we like right on time, on target. Dr. Hill, after four, I mean, he had we were friends on Black Preaching Network. Remember that network? Still
Yep.
is around, I think.
Back.
And we were friends on the Black Preaching Network. He was in Houston with Apostle Deborah Anderson. You might know her.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I went in to see him, got invited, and after he was done, it had a line lined up for everybody wanted to get prophesied for. I didn't have time for that because I had a conference of my own back in Baytown. And so I gave him my card and I said, just keep me in your prayer. Okay, just keep
Okay.
me in your prayers or whatever. His teaching awakened me, and I heard the Spirit of the Lord told me back then. It gave me 4 years of advancement. That literally catapulted me, boom, into alignment. And that weekend, I had a conference, a prophetic conference, and I looked up at my door, and he was at my door. I'm like, well, I just saw you at your conference. What are you doing at my conference? And at that point, he came, he told me to come, and I went to meet him in the back and he gave me his seat again. We've been friends on Facebook on Black Preaching Network. Now we're meeting each other face to face. And he gave me an envelope and he sowed into the ministry. He said, don't let nobody tell you that you're not good ground. And he prophesied to me at that point. And he stayed. When I tell you he stayed, and he been with me ever since. And he
Versus.
was that leader, like, I'm having that dream. I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that. And he never gave me the answer. What he would do is, what is God saying? Go get your Bible, because he said, and he's warned me. He said,
Mhm.
you're going to be ridiculed, you're going to be chastised by seminarians, theologians. He said, because you're way ahead of your time. You're going to have to pay the cost for your revelation. He was the one that literally helped me to understand the prosecution that I was going through unknowing. So I had
Yes.
one that spiritually aligned my birthing process, that midwife, while the other was helping me in the advancement of me being catapulted. And so it's rare to find those kind of leaders and or mentors that are
Yes.
close of your heart. You don't see them often, but when you do see each other, we could break bread.
Yes.
Especially in
Yes.
the journey of life, finding that
Yes.
leader. I have had a leader that told me even today, she anointed me and prayed for me or whatever, and only for her to tell me, she said, "I don't know what to do with you." And I'm like, "You don't know what to do with me." That was supposed to hurt me and break me. But then she
Right.
was saying to me, she is very prophetically inclined, on target. She was like, what you're doing and where you're heading. She said, "I'm not even there yet." She was that transparent leader. We don't have barely, hardly
Right. Right.
transparent
Right. Right. Right.
leaders on that level. And today we connect every so often. I'll hit her up. "Hey, gotta saying this. And she said, "Only you." We don't talk, we don't see each other, but leaders need that person. Yet you don't have to share what's going on, but you
Yes.
pick me up in
Yes.
the spirit to help align
Yes.
me to
Yes.
the journey. And
Yes.
so that's how they know who is authentic, who is been proven, who
Mhm.
has faith, and who has a relationship. Who has
Yeah.
a relationship. Again, you don't have to tell them all of your business. You don't have to tell them nothing, but they're going to be that person that's going to align. So we need people like that. And now I'm still living out what has been prophesied. I'm living out what has been spoken. I'm living out what I couldn't see but has been spoken over me. I'm living it out. And like, wow, you know, wow, it was spoken. So we all have to go through that. Um, and how would you experience it? A lot of us, we shut down what we don't understand.
Mhm. Mhm.
We shut down that leader that tells us the advancement of time because we don't want to see it. It's too
Right.
far advanced.
Right.
It's
Right.
like, "Ooh, I'm not. This is a. We're not ready for that yet. That's too much. It's too heavy. It's too much. It's too heavy." So we shut it down. We shut it down. We shut down time. We close the door to time. We close the gateway to time because we are not ready to grab hold of sight time. Mhm. So we have to embrace it. What does that look like? Which means you have to be a radical. You have to be a disruptor. You have to bring the change. You
Mhm.
have to, when everybody's going up, you're going down. When they're going down, you're going up. You have to be
Mhm.
different. That's what
Mhm.
it means. You have to be different. Sometimes they'll say you're bucking the system. Okay. And that sometimes you'll do that. you know Again, what, because their system is not your system. hmm we're
Wow.
legacy builders. What does that look like? Leaving a legacy. We could be and play church all day long, but
Mhm.
seeing
Mhm.
leaders dying, leaving the earth, and wanting to write books and have yet to write or publish that book because they were waiting for the right people to help them birth that book.
Mhm.
I'm looking for
Mhm.
the right people to help them birth that vision. And
Mhm.
so they're a book, literally a book, you know?
Mhm.
hmm
Mhm.
hmm
And Apostle, I wish we had 2 or 3 hours to really dive deeper into this because all of us have giftings. God did not just say, "Oh, okay, I think I want a person on this earth just to occupy space and
Mm,
breathe air." So
yes.
everybody has a purpose. And
Mm,
we're speaking specifically today about business or, entrepreneurship. Not
yes.
everybody's supposed to be a businessman or
Mm,
entrepreneur, but
hmm
the mentor is so important in any phase, whether it's just being what I call a pew potato,
mm,
sitting in the pew, having that mentor, getting in connection with a group of like-minded people to study, to grow, to glean off of. But have that mentor that says, let's go deeper.
mm, hmm
Let's look at it from this perspective.
mm,
Mentors are so important, and you are right. You don't have to be buddy buddy, chummy chummy, going out, to lunch with them all the time. If they are truly, truly, truly hearing from God, like you said, they'll pick you up in the spirit.
hmm
And you can talk to them once every 10 years,
Mhm.
but they can tell you what happened from the last conversation up till now.
Mhm.
Hold you accountable and say, but didn't you say God was saying this, and
Mhm.
this?
Mhm.
Or I feel that you got a little complacent in this area.
Mhm.
Let's sharpen that area.
Mhm.
Let me pray for you to, have more faith and grow in that area, whatever
Mhm.
the case may be.
Mhm.
But mentors are so powerful,
Yes,
so needed, and sometimes underappreciated.
that's true.
And that's
That's
why
true.
that's why I publicly thank you just for the little bit of nuggets that you've imparted in the green room when we have our conversation,
Mhm.
the lives that I was a part of, the conferences that I eavesdropped in, and I mean, just seeing how you flow and navigate the social media platform
Mhm.
gave me the ability. Okay, well, God, you wanted me to do this podcast. I had
Mhm.
no clue.
Mhm.
But you said, okay, well, go here, do this,
Yeah.
try this, and here I am. Oh, what?
Mhm.
4 years
Mhm.
later,
Yeah.
yeah. So thank you, Apostle, for
You're welcome.
just being unselfish
Mhm.
with the body
Yeah.
of Christ, as it, because you obey God
Mhm.
with your works
Mhm. Mhm.
that we're going to talk about.
Mhm.
And you could say, "Oh God, no, they don't want to hear that." That's
Mhm.
there's tons of books on 101 ways to be a better
Mhm.
leader, 100 ways to influence people, and
Mhm.
but you were obedient, and now you're seeing
The fruit of it.
the
Mhm.
yes,
Mhm.
yes,
And then thank you so much for even pointing that out, because there are assignments that the creator will give to you. Even the one that I'm doing now, the well code to leadership. I'm like, God, here we go. And even with me saying, God, here we go, the downloads and the brain hacking. And he
mhm,
said, this will require a different audience. Okay,
yes,
fine, and I'm
yes,
in for that. I love ground zero. I'll do ground zero any day. I love, some people don't want to do ground zero. It's too much work.
yes,
And I love
yes,
ground zero. And somebody, we had a meeting and someone was saying, well, too bad people wasn't there, or people could they could the value from, let's see, the information. I said, I'm not about worried about the numbers. Or you're not. I said, this was a replay.
mhm,
They could always listen to the replay. I
mhm,
don't. I'm not counting heads. It's
yes,
about me following through and doing what the creator has told me to do. And it's
yes,
about impact. And for those that was on the line was impacted, one hit me up. She said, thank you so much. Right now, I'm on my third chapter. You inspired me to write my book. Finally got it done. The other one has a business.
yes,
Thank you so much. I'm looking at my coaching business from a different perspective. Thank you. I needed this. This aligned me. Now
mhm,
that is what I look for.
mhm,
That is what I
mhm,
look for. Because at the same, I
mhm,
said, I'm building a community. I'm building a community one by one. I'll be helping someone. So when
yes,
you're looking, again, it deals with the perspective. They were looking at numbers. I was looking at impact.
yes. That's the
Again,
difference. It's the
that's the
difference.
difference. We're talking
It's
about
the,
leadership. We're talking
yes,
about leadership.
yes.
Someone told me the other day, Pastor, don't have to worry, they don't honor you. And then I said, I don't care if they honor me or not. A lot of them are not going to know who I am until I've left this earth. They
Yes.
don't know the value of who I am until after. And that's
Yes.
just how it is with time. Sometimes what you're carrying is over and beyond. They don't have the capacity for you.
Yes.
And a lot of them
Yes.
are too full from last season's knowledge that they have to empty out of themselves to be able to receive from you. I'm speaking to somebody. So
Mhm.
it's not for you to worry about honor, head count, but worry about impact. Because while they're worrying about the honor, impact, or whatever, I could just look at my analytics and I could tell you, even behind the scene, look, I've done this, I've done that, I've done
Mhm.
that.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's what we're looking for. The same thing for business, the same based on your analytics or demographics, your
Mhm.
reach, how you've impacted, how many downloads, how many, even did the press release the other day. And Dr. Kelly, I've received so many phone calls in regards to phone calls and emails, like to schedule a TV interview, like to schedule this, like to schedule that.
Yes.
Again, And that's from the press release. But I'm trying to say that book was supposed to be birthed last year, but this was the timing based on how based on the economy or the ecosystem is shifting. Their voice need to be heard
Yes.
to
Yes.
empower women entrepreneur to be able to maneuver your business, execute from
Yes.
the boardroom. This is the timing of their voices, the expression of what they're carrying, and at that point, I'm like, God, wow, where did it come from? I'm like, there go another one. There go another one. We'd like to interview you, and all of that based on a platform, based on marketing, based not just posting, marketing, promoting these powerful women. They need to be heard. It's not about
Yes.
me. What they're
Yes.
carrying needs to be heard. And so, again, that's what impact looks like.
Yes. Yes.
While we're worried about the head count, working about all it, that was church lingo.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying this because as you're building, that's why I love Nehemiah. He was building, had a tool to build, and the other hand, he had a weaponry. And all the negative was coming. Even militia came, Tobiah, Sanballat. He went and got the military. The militia came for him. And he like, I will not come down. In the season that you are in or others are in, you cannot come down. You don't have time to entertain the rhetoric. You don't
Yes.
have to entertain, so therefore,
Yes.
guard your ear gates. Become tunnel vision because you're not going to come down until you see what the end result. It don't matter if you read world history, Bible history. Nehemiah was the shortest wall, but built in 52 days. How many days do you have to build that business? How many days do you have to execute that ministry? How many days do you have to execute that coaching program, that podcast? How many days do you have because you think you have time? How many days do you have?
Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow.
We have to build.
That's one of those deep Selah
Mhm.
moments.
I
And,
think we
and
have time. We're already in the second quarter of
of
2025.
2025. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And before you know it, the year will be halfway over.
There you
And
go.
then, 3/4 of the way, and then here comes 2026.
There you go.
The Lord, tarries, but
Hmm.
wow, wow, wow. So
And
we
do the
got
bare minimum. And did the bare minimum.
so
Waiting for
that
the right time.
that's why all of these projects that we're going to just highlight a little bit
Hmm.
are so important because it gives you the foundation, the structure, the strategies. Talks a little bit more in depth about um, don't procrastinate.
Mm.
Do it. Just walk by faith
Mm.
and do it in excellence.
Yeah.
Excellence without excuse. And with all the technology, AI, there's no reason for it not to be done in excellence. Now, does that mean that you have to be a superior graphic artist and know how to, do all of the fancy stuff? Not necessarily, but at your level, do
Mm.
that in excellence. Do that well, and then
Yes.
as time goes on, you will develop that gift,
Better.
and you God may connect you with someone that says, you know what, I want to sow a seed. Let me do a flyer for you, or let me help
Mm.
you with whatever. I mean, you gave me some powerful tips on the virtual book
Mm.
and just all different kinds of things.
Mm.
So we got to talk about your projects. I would be remiss if I did not. So the first
Mm.
one we want to bring up is empower her. Talk to us about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited about this one. It's called Empower Her. Of course, that's a popular lingo, but we are empowering her, the woman, with strategies for women in business, from the CEO to the high profiling women, to the one that's starting a coaching business, and for those that are navigating it or just beginning. Every voice or every imprint of an author is speaking to that entrepreneur. And my particular topic is speaking to the women, telling them that let's go beyond the boardroom of success. What does that look like? Because, and we also have to be mindful that these roles could cause us to go from our feminine role to a masculine role, but you could still be in that feminine role and still operate and or do business. What does it look like? Especially in the timing that we are in, how is your business going to help navigate the next 5 years, 10 years? And even from stemming on, like today, we had that conversation with leaders who lead differently. And the question was brought to me, well, how are you going to help your people back home? And I said, we're talking about or thinking about doing a school to help with technology or whatever. And at that point, the gentleman said, he said, you think that they would be interested in aviation? Oh my gosh, Dr. Kelly, he said nothing but a word. And when he said that, and I said, let's go even further. And I said, my goal is not only for them to learn, but have a way to get their certificate or be certified and get, again, a way to come to the States or to travel to be able to work and or travel. We could house them, but I would like for them to get the education. What am I saying? He is in aviation. He's a mechanic from aviation. He said flights are being canceled because they don't have enough aviation mechanic on board. They don't have this. And I said, I taught. It just opened up, Dr. Kelly. That's what I'm saying. Again, all we did was come together as solutions. What can we do for the next generation of entrepreneurs, entrepreneurial mindset, or still entrepreneurs that can navigate this system from a Christ-centeredness? What does it look like? And that's how that went beyond the boardroom, beyond the boardroom. So please, it is available on Amazon, also on Lulu. We have the audio book here coming out in the next 2 days.
Love it.
About that. And as the interviews and everything is coming out, and then also the ebook. I didn't tell them, but also they do have a affirmation cards that go with the book, and also a workbook that you'll be able to get it. So each authors basically pull from their chapters, and they do have affirmation of words of encouragement for women. So we kept the same theme, and they'll be able to, this author said, so, Coach Danielle said such and such, keep growing from the ground up. What does it look like? So each affirmation card speaks to the pulse of the woman.
To that chapter. Okay.
Yes, and helping them. Because we have affirmation to help build our self-esteem, to help us stay centered. But what do we have in place to speak to that entrepreneur? Otherwise she will die. She'll be in that room. I'm hearing about the apostles, the prophet, the evangelist. I'm hearing it, but who will speak to the entrepreneur in me? Who would speak to me, the Lydia? Who would speak to me, who would speak to me, my all, me in the marketplace? Who would speak to me? And so they have to know, hey, we are a people that will speak to you. Come from hither. We're going to empower her. That kingdom, the kingdom is in you. We're igniting the kingdom in you, empowering you.
I'll say that again. We're
igniting the kingdom in you. We are activating the kingdom in you. You are the kingdom.
Yes.
And so we're advancing. We have to unlock what's within. And so a lot of them, they're coming from the four-wall capacity into the marketplace, and they're going through that transition. And what does that look like? So helping them to navigate as they're going through the transition. And when they do that, the fluidity is so fluid, the cash flow, the abundance, because they're realizing I've been trapped behind the four walls when I should have been doing this.
Yes. Love it. And the next one you have,
yes,
Empower Her.
That's the book. The book. That's the book. Empower Her. Strategies for Women in Business.
Yes.
We have authors from. We have even one from Maturin. She's all the way from outside of Madagascar. Well, Pallavi, oh my God, she has so much under her belt. She's an international lawyer as well. When I'm talking about the wealth of information, we have veteran educators, we have a fitness coach, we have nonprofit grant writer, we have a therapist, we have so much, and then Coach Janine, business owners that help networks come together. So everybody is speaking from a standpoint that have so much wealth of information, Mhm.
Love it. And speaking of Coach Janine,
Yes, Coach Janine, my goodness. So this is one of the covers we have that was birthed from the leadership blueprint. So each speaker have their own cover. It brings a wealth of information as to what they've been doing, a little bit about their experience and or background. Even stems from all the way from Shirley. She is in Nigeria. She's heavy in humanity leadership. I'm on her board. Her hands are always busy between Kenya, Nigeria, or wherever, impacting leaders overseas. And so you'll find that we have Lena, we have the twins, we have Barbara, and we have, oh gosh, I'm gonna slip my mind right now, and they're gonna like, oh my gosh, here you go. But a wealth of heavy, not only voices, but due to their experience that they brought to the table, and so you'll find that each topic is innovation and leadership, the resilience, and then reconstruction leadership. They all spoke from a leadership perspective, helping the emerging leader, the one that's transitioning. Those are refining or revamping right now, and looking closer at their blueprint. And even we discussed this. A lot of them they could build behind the desk, but they don't know how to lead a team.
whoop, 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 whoop. Wait, stop. Rewind.
They could build $1 million business from behind the desk, but they don't know how to build a team. And so they don't know what kind of leadership role or system they have in place. Thus, where they'll have probably a high turnover because people, oh, I can't work with that person. I can't, the person, that's just who they are. They have to be secluded. That's just who they are. Behind the desk, close the door, drinking their coffee, and that's it. They're building their tunnel vision. That's why those leaders need to have other leaders in place that'll be able to build a team, infrastructure the team, navigate, and at the same time navigate change. What does that look like? So
Yes.
at that point, do we have the teams in place? What can I do? I've had it here lately. What can I do, and how can I help? And I know what it is to wear that hat for so long. Not because you don't want to share the assignment, is that some people fall not carrying it. They're like, no,
Right.
I can't do it, or they carry it out, but they don't carry it out. And a lot of them have
Right.
a they just want to do it because they want to be close, and a lot of them they're so church. When I said church structured, but they're not open minded from the business standpoint. So, like, who can I give that could see beyond the full wall capacity? Who can I give that could see beyond the church and see kingdom? Who can I give that could see humanity? Who can I put this in the arms of? And so I will
Yes.
send the team, he will send the people, and he will help you. We were talking about books earlier. That what came to me is that that leader, when he was climbing the ladder and somebody took the ladder. You know
Uh-huh.
what I'm talking about?
Who moved my cheese?
Not move my cheese, but there's a one where the leader was walking up the ladder, and I'll find the book title. And
Okay.
someone moved the ladder, and the owner was asking who moved the ladder, and because the ladder I might have in place, I'm gonna go biblical with this one, so everybody could relate. Um, David, um, his vision was to build a tabernacle. Okay,
Yes.
and that's all
Yes.
he could see. He got all the tools, the talith, the design. The
Yes.
talith means design in Hebrew. That he got he got all the tools. He got the specs. He got the sheetrock, the nails, the hammer. He got everything, but all he could see was the tabernacle. Then here comes his son, and now his son Sam saw past the tabernacle, and he built the community by 400%. What do I mean? David only saw the tabernacle. His son saw a community, a laundromat, apartment complex. He did Starbucks. He did everything else. So based on the latter analogy is that even though I'm building, the one that's coming behind of me might not build with the same ladder or have the same structure or system, but they're
Yes.
going to implement or
Yes.
expand the system or
Yes.
build from another
Yes.
standpoint. So
Yes.
with that, then what I'm going to put on the table is based on what you're building, can someone pick up or build from what
And
you've written
build
down
on
and
it.
expand it?
Yes. Yes.
And some people can't because you didn't give them room, you didn't give them specs, you didn't give them that, and you didn't give them direction, you didn't give them, you didn't articulate the vision enough. They don't know how to build because again, you did not share. You kept your vision so tight for fear of I want to take what God has given me, or they gonna take it. Or you don't understand. I've been there, done that, and somebody came and snatched it all. That you're holding on to it so tight that when you leave the earth, it's gonna go with you because you didn't leave a legacy.
Wow. I think we're having some technical difficulties. We'll let her system reboot. There we
Can you
go.
hear me? You
Yes.
built a system that could protect you. You didn't build a system
Mhm,
that the other generations could benefit.
mhm, mhm. Powerful apostle, powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh, you free. Okay, there we go. You're
Yeah.
back now.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So what are we building, and who's benefiting from it?
Wow. I told you guys, apostle is off the chain. I hope you got your notes like I had mine right here. Uh, Full of information, insight, um, that challenges you, not just, oh, you can do it. Okay, it's just kumbaya, cheerleader, rah, rah, rah. But okay, so when are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? Let me help you do it. Let me refer you to somebody that can help you do it. That's who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You are a pusher,
Mm-hmm.
a prophetic pusher. You know how they have prophetic snipers in the spirit. You're a prophetic pusher when it comes to executing God's vision and
Mm-hmm.
God's purpose and plan for others' lives. Yeah, yeah, kingdom pusher. Uh-oh, I think she got stalled again, but that's okay. We are going to just keep on going, and I pray that you all were blessed. And do me a favor, put some more comments and questions in. We'll be able to take at least one or two more questions if we have any there. I don't see any more, but Apostle, again, this has been a blessing to me. You know the food is good when you cook it and it's good to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So this is good to me.
Mm-hmm.
I know that it's been rich and good to others out there as well. How can I know that we had a question in terms of you possibly doing some mentoring? How can those who are either interested in your counseling, your consulting, your products get a hold of you? How can they
Sure.
reach
Sure. They could connect with me via Facebook.
you? Okay.
You can reach me via Facebook or email address, but most likely they could DM me in regards to my Facebook. I'm still in the middle of revamping and updating my webpage, but they could connect with me via Facebook. DM me.
Okay, you're on Facebook under Lavella
Lavella
Revere.
Media. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Under
got
Lavella
it.
Media.
Got it. Wow. Well, I hope you guys were empowered and really, truly were blessed. I know I was. I thank you, Dr. Lavella. I was joking earlier, but sometimes I can call and you are in Atlanta. Sometimes you're in Antigua. Sometimes you're in Canada. Worldwide. And
Mm-hmm.
I thank God that we connected. I don't even know how we were. I think was it through Dr.
Dr.
V?
V. Mm-hmm.
I know I've seen you uh, had an event a few years back that I wasn't able to attend.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think she mentioned going to an event or something that you were hosting. But that was the timing.
Mm-hmm.
That was the right time. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the years before.
Yes.
But I thank God for you. Dr. V says, get all the books. Absolutely. You will be blessed. Any last word of wisdom you would like to impart,
Mm-hmm.
Apostle?
Mm-hmm. To
Like,
embrace who they are as a leader, as an individual. Otherwise, we'll find ourselves perfecting a role for ministry, perfecting a role for either on the job. But when it comes to the essence of your being, your natural self. You could be so very disconnected. Also, don't forget that who you are as a person ignites those other roles. Those other roles need you, the essence of your being, to be
Yes.
able not only to fulfill, but to maneuver in excellence and at the same time to implement and leave your imprint in the earth. So, what am I saying? Get back to you. Get back to you. Get
Mhm.
back to you as a person. You could better lead when you tap into yourself. You'll find that you have possibly outgrown yourself. Mm.
Yes.
Outgrown, or now you have to tap into the creativity again, tap into who you are. You have outgrown yourself. So now it's again to become one, to become whole, so you could lead differently by embracing who you are. Mhm. We wear so many hats, so
Yes.
many, so
Yes.
many hats. Who you
Yes.
were in your 20s, who you were in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, all different
Mhm.
versions of you. Some of
Mhm.
us are still trying to get back to those 20 days or 20 days and 30 days, but they're all different versions
Of
of
you.
you.
Mhm.
Mhm. And so, if you could get back to who you are and tap into the core, the essence, and embrace who you are in totality, you'll find that there's nothing that you want to do that you can't do. Nothing that you want to do that you can't do. And you will move out with such faith. I don't have it, don't have the money, but I have the strategy. Don't have, TD Jakes said it best. There are things that he wanted to do by way of business or to execute, and he had
Yes.
$0 in his pocket. But his circle, his
Mhm.
circle by way of friends, he was
Mhm.
able to call them, and the money he didn't have, they were able to put up the money for him. And he
Mhm.
was saying that's how you could determine who are your friends. Not only who are your friends, but that's how you'll be able to determine your net worth. Your
Yes.
net worth is how much based on the friends that you have. You might not have it, but they'll partner with you, they'll JV with you, whatever, to make it a success. Mhm.
Yes.
So that's how he
Yes.
was able to, that's when he realized I'm more wealthier than I thought I was due to the wealth of friendship,
Yes.
the
Yes.
wealth
Yes.
of knowledge. Sometimes we're looking at
Yes.
wealth as monetary, but
Yes.
currency. He was able to test his currency as a leader because they were able to back him by a word of, when I said bond, though, because who he is as a person, they were able to financially back him.
Wow.
So, um, again, tapping into who you are, getting with the right people, right circle. And it's time for you to expand. A lot of us have been behind closed doors for fear of doubt and for fear of betrayal and for fear of hurt. I want to
Mhm.
experience
Mhm.
that again. That will shut ourselves off from the world. We can't do this alone. We can't do it alone.
Absolutely.
You can't advance and build a kingdom by yourself.
Absolutely.
Mhm, mhm. So you have to be able to lead differently.
I love it. I love it. We have got to get to, I don't know how we can do it, but combine StreamYard and Zoom and some of these other platforms all together.
That's true.
Have a conference or a symposium or something, some kind of way to have a greater impact to
Yes.
get these types of nuggets
Yeah.
out to feed
Yes.
the body of Christ.
Yes.
I don't even know. There may be something out there already. I don't know,
Yes.
but
But
that
who is for it, they'll get it. Who it's for, because even today we're still reading the Bible that is centuries old. We're still
yeah
reading, based on those poets and philosophers. We're still reading their books, their powerful books. They did something like what you're doing today. You're leaving a legacy behind. Someone is going to come in and watch this video, and it's going to be right on time, and it's going to ignite them to the point where it's going to fuel them to start that business, fuel them to get on the path of being an entrepreneur, align them. So this is what I've been wanting. They spoke to my spirit, they spoke to my soul. This. So what I'm saying is that yes, it's about impact. Yes, about getting the word out. You keep doing what you're doing. I remember when you started and look at the impact, especially when you're navigating and you're tapping into certain topics.
yes
That's why
yeah
we have got to like just ruffle the feathers and become the algorithm. We have got to become the algorithm. Um,
Yes. Yes.
and we have got to find or sift those audience out. We have those that will keep this a secret because I want it for me and only me because I need this. And we have those that are like, man, come and hear a woman.
Yes.
Come and hear a woman.
Come
She
see a
just told
woman.
me about myself.
Yes.
I'm Dr. Kelly. You need to hear this. Share the link. Share the link.
Yes.
Share the link. Share
Yes.
the link. Share the link. You
Yes.
know, and it's like that. But I'm telling you, you're creating impact, and that is a weapon.
Mhm.
That is a weapon, creating impact because you're building minds.
Mhm.
You're healing wounds, and
Mhm.
you're bringing people from a low morale. You're giving
Mhm.
them insight. You're changing their legs. You're giving them prophetic insight, and you're speaking life. You are waking up dead souls. You are breathing life into them, and so just keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep creating impact. The time will come when you'll sit down like, how did I reach to episode 200?
Mhm.
How did I get to this part?
Mhm.
Wow.
Mhm. Mhm.
Wow. So keep doing what you're doing. And with what Facebook is doing, you have got to be the algorithm. And sometimes I don't see a post like, dang, this is rich, but it's 3 days old. How come I didn't see this?
Mhm.
You have to become the algorithm. You have to override.
Rhythm.
Mhm.
Dr. Lavelle, that might be your next book.
What? Become the algorithm? I don't have a problem writing it. I don't have a problem.
You- that right there. Wait, I'm writing this down right now.
Okay.
Algorithm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Become the
I
algorithm.
love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And I am so glad that we connected. And you just freely just come and say, okay, I'm available. What do we want me to share? And
Mm-hmm.
I thank you for not keeping it a
You're
secret.
welcome. You are
Absolutely.
welcome.
Well, again, please go to Facebook. She can be found as Lavella McGarry. You can DM her if you have any questions or want product information or just advice on where to get some resources or tools or techniques. So please contact her. She is phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. And I again thank you, Apostle, for
You're
spending this afternoon with us, just having this little bitty conversation
welcome. Or you're welcome.
that always turns out to be such a have a big impact.
Mm-hmm.
If nobody else, me.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank
Oh,
you.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
And to all those who ask questions, and Fitz and Verinda and Coach and everybody that is watching, I thank you so very much for joining us. And as I always say, I love you, and there is nothing you can do about it. So until next time, you all be blessed. God bless.